You.
Hello, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Deepak. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. Deepak, we have sent you the responses, feedback for the test, for the psych test that you've given. Have you gone through it?
Yes, sir. I have gone through all the feedbacks.
Okay, that's fine. Now, briefly, I will tell you how you have performed in all the three tests. Okay, and
Okay.
then after listening to me, if you have any doubts, please ask. Is that
Okay,
okay?
sir. Okay, sir.
Now, coming to the TAT, you've written all the 12 stories.
Yes, sir.
And what I can say is that you've been able to solve problems of a simple nature.
Yes, sir.
However, when the complexity of the problem rises, uh, you tend to not solve them thoroughly. Your actions tend to be limited, and you don't give details about how the problem is to be solved. And some of the ideas in your stories appear to be preconceived. And on a couple of occasions, you tended to be wishful. So you need to improve your problem solving ability.
Okay,
Now,
sir.
coming to situations which are dynamic, you tend to lose your focus and then try to avoid problems and avoid stress. And in a couple of stories, the outcome is not certain.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a need to improve your problem solving ability and also the ability to face dynamic situations boldly.
Okay, sir.
So that's about your performance in the TAT. Coming to the word association test, I found that your responses are better compared to the TAT. Uh, I saw some positivity coming through in the WAT. However, I also found some inconsistency in your responses. That positivity is not there in all the responses. So you need to be consistent.
Okay.
And a few responses are not very clear. I think you've not understood the words clearly. That's why your responses tend to be uh, not very relevant. And also, you sometimes tend to quote incidents. And quite a few responses are also personal. You can
Okay.
have a few responses, personal responses, but not too many.
Okay, sir.
All right. And you also tend to write the words. Okay. When the test is given, you don't have to write the word again. You
Okay,
just
sir.
need to make a sentence using that word because the words are already available with the assessor.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So that's about the WIT. Coming to the SRT, yes, you've been able to solve simple problems. And I saw that in social situations, you're handling them reasonably well. You tend to be honest in your dealings, and you're also adaptable to situations which are social in nature. However, when it comes to dynamic situations, again, the tendency to avoid problems or avoid stress. Uh, so that's where you need to improve. Okay, and you also need to understand the situation very clearly. I could sense that you're not analyzing the situation in detail, and you're also not involved completely in some situations.
Okay, sir.
Okay, that's about the SRT. Coming to the self description, you have some insight into your strengths and weaknesses, but again, your insight again also needs to improve, particularly when you know that your problem solving ability and your ability to face dynamic situations is not to the level which is required to clear the SSB.
Okay.
Okay, so there also some improvement is required. So on the whole, I would advise you to improve your ability to solve problems, go into the details, develop your ability to organize things, do things with clarity and with logic. And you need to face any problem which is given to you boldly.
Okay.
Be pragmatic and approach the problem in a manner which is realistic and then which can be done using a series of logical and practical actions. And these are some of the things which I thought I should tell you. Now, if you have any doubts, you can please ask me.
Sir, first of all, I want to know that uh, in my first TAT, the response I got, in that response, it was written that it is incomplete. So I just wanted to know how it is incomplete, because I have given the end result that uh, that injured person was taken to the hospital, and in the evening he thanked Rahul and he was saved.
Okay. A little more completeness is required. Once you take somebody to the hospital, what happened there and how he was, what happened finally to him. So that appeared to be a bit incomplete.
Okay, okay. And sir, in the second TAT, it was shown a artillery gun.
Okay.
So I was in the NCC, so I went to a camp and I saw some artillery guns there. So it was my past experience.
Okay.
So I wrote a story on my past experience.
Hmm.
So it was written that uh, the idea is low.
Yeah.
What should I write in that type of situations?
See, I won't tell you what should you write because that's not the right way of doing things.
Okay,
It is your imagination which should improve. Okay.
okay, okay,
Now the idea is not bad, but what I'm saying is it's a simple idea.
okay,
Okay. Now when you join the armed forces, you're expected to solve problems which have got some complexity,
okay,
right? So the more the level of the problem, the more is the effort which is required by you to solve the problem. Okay. So
okay,
increase the level of the problem and then tackle it. And in this particular story, I found that you have used a sentence repetitively. Don't try to repeat same words or sentences.
okay, okay, sir.
Okay. So improve the quality of your ideas. Okay. Your idea is fine, but it's not great.
Okay, sir. Okay. And sir, in the fourth TAT, uh, a man was pointing a gun towards another man.
Okay.
So in that situation, if we analyze the risk is great. So what should I do? Because he is handling the gun, so
Mhm.
he can kill me also in that action.
Yeah. See, this is a situation where you're required to display a lot of courage. Okay. So in the story that you have written, uh, you tended to avoid stress, not involve yourself in facing this problem bravely, boldly. Okay. That's why I felt that the courage element was lacking in this particular story.
Okay, okay. Hmm. And in TAT 5, it was shown a person who was handling his degree in his hands.
Okay.
So because I wrote my personal experience, because I was not good in mathematics, so I took BSc mathematics as my subject.
Hmm.
So I scored well and with distinction. So
Hmm.
so it was written that it is wishful. So, but
Okay.
I worked hard and did the things. So means I couldn't understand what was that.
Okay. Why it is written visual is you showed this character who was having a grade of say 4. He suddenly jumps to 9.
Okay.
Okay. Now, is that realistic? Is it practical? Where somebody is so weak he managed to, and then okay, it is possible that a guy,
So,
you know,
yes, sir.
attains
So
distinction, but then
I because I
you're not
personally got the distinction in my
okay, that's great, but you're not said how he has done it. Okay, the how element is missing there. You have
Mm,
straight away said, okay, he did something and then he got CGP of 9, right? So that middle part, that how this particular individual managed to get such a high grade, although he was a mediocre student earlier. Okay?
mm,
So you need to
okay.
give those actions or details to convince the assessor that you're logical and you're systematic in your approach.
Okay, sir. Okay. And in TAT6, a man was pointing knife. Uh, I wrote the story, and in the feedback, it was written that the outcome is uncertain.
Mhm.
So couldn't understand it.
Okay. Now, when you write, be very specific. You said you tied with something. What is that something?
Okay.
And those actions were also limited in your story. They're not very clear. Yeah, you have not used the resources there. You have somebody along with you, and then you not use him at all. Of course, though you showed some courage,
Okay.
uh, but then I found that it was not a consistent response.
Okay, sir. And in TAT8,
Yeah.
uh, man was I think I a man was standing on the bridge.
Hmm.
So I wrote some positive thing that he collected memories there, and these things I wrote. So
So that particular story you just described, the man is standing there and just recollecting his past. The instructions are very clear to you. You have to say what has led to that particular situation. You have to tell about the past, what's going on in the present as depicted
okay,
in the picture, and what's the outcome likely to be. So you got to have all the three elements: the present, the past, and the future, right? And I saw that there were no goals in this particular individual. He was just standing there and recollecting his past. So that's not a very great story.
okay, sir, okay. And ninth was preconceived. I knew it.
Yeah. Yes.
And in 10th, uh, uh, please explain me that where is the focus. I focused on getting the job. So
Hmm.
it is in the feedback. It was written where is the focus of
Okay.
the story.
No, it was a doubt in my mind, but what I more I can say is I could sense that the determination was not there.
Oh,
Again, you tend to be a little wishful, okay, uh, in the way you approach things.
okay, sir. Okay. Mm, and in 11th, there was a dead body.
Hmm.
So recently, an incident happened with me. My uh, uncle passed away because
Hmm.
of the liver problem.
Okay.
So I wrote that incident, and I wrote some actions also.
Hmm.
So it was also that low idea, and it happened with me. Actually, that is
Right.
why I wrote.
So I could analyze that again. You are avoiding stress, and the number of actions that you are taking are very limited. Okay.
Okay,
So what I could see from your TAT was that in situations which are dynamic, you're not able to handle them with confidence. Okay,
okay,
so that is what you need to improve. You need to face things with courage, and you also need to involve yourselves completely in tackling the problem and ensure that the problem is solved or the goal is achieved. That's very important. Okay, so you need to improve your problem solving ability and as well as your dynamism.
Okay, sir. And in blank slide, I just wanted to know that is it acceptable? Means in the feedback it was written that it is good. Means the
Yeah,
response is good.
it was fairly good story, and you showed some sense of motivation.
Oh,
But you need to show that consistently across
oh,
all the responses. Okay, that
oh,
zeal, the determination should come across consistently.
okay. And sir, I just wanted to know that means is there any congruency between all the tests that I have given, the WAT, TAT, and SRT? Because that is the main thing, I think.
Yes, see,
Congruency.
the most important test is obviously the TAT,
Yes.
where, as I told you, that you're not performed to the level where you can be recommended. Okay,
Okay.
so improvements are required. Coming to the WT, there is some improvement, but then the responses were not very consistent. But compared to the TAT, WT was better. And SRT again, it's kind of mixed responses. Some responses, especially social responses, were good, but then again, dynamic situations, you're not very clear on how to handle them. Okay, so uh, when uh, when you write the tests, make sure that you do well in all the three tests. That consistency is important uh, for you to be recommended. Don't think that writing well in one test is enough, or writing in two. Okay, you have to do well in all the three tests. That's very important.
Okay, sir.
And
And
one more thing regarding the SRT, you only attempted only 39,
yes, sir.
which is not adequate.
Okay.
Okay, at least should attempt at least around 50 responses.
Okay.
And then also quality is important. It's not about just quantity. It's the quality of your responses which is very important. Keep that in mind.
Okay, sir. And sir, in SD, I wrote means whatever I observe.
Mm.
So, means how can I get the clear insight of mine?
See, your insight it depends on your responses also. Okay,
Okay.
what you've written in SD doesn't match with what you've how you performed in the three tests.
So, like you said, I am not good in dynamic actions. So, so means how are you getting that I am not? How are you getting this from my SD?
No, I'm not getting that from your SD. I've got it from your TAT
Okay.
especially, and also from some of your SRT responses. Okay,
Okay.
but in your SD, you said that you involve yourself in a lot of extracurricular activities and things like that, which means that the insight is not matching. Okay, because if you feel that you are a dynamic person, that should show in your tests, which is not showing.
Okay.
All right. Now, I believe you're an NCC cadet also.
Yes, sir. I was
Okay, so if you have participated in NCC, people expect you to have that drive and determination and courage. Okay, so doesn't matter. You can still improve yourself, participate in some adventure camps, in extracurricular activities, play games. Okay, be active, uh, sh- show a lot of initiative, try to solve problems. You know, develop all these qualities wherever you are. What are you doing right now?
So I am pursuing my MSc Masters in
Okay,
mathematics.
so in your college, if there are some activities, take initiative, organize things. Okay, take lead. Okay, develop those leadership qualities. So once you involve yourself in doing these activities, automatically you will develop these qualities. Okay, and which will show in your responses.
Okay, sir. And sir, there are other techniques also like the interview technique and GTO technique.
Mhm.
So how can I get the congruency in all the tests? Means how can I judge myself on my own? Means
See,
I'm on a right track.
you'll be on the right track provided you develop your personality, as I just told you. Okay. So these three techniques are different in the way that GTO sees your performance, in a group
Yes, sir.
when you are put as as part of a team. Okay.
Yes,
And
sir.
he sees you practically doing things, and then he judges you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The interviewing officer will talk to you. He'll pose some questions, and depending on the quality of your answers, again he'll judge your qualities. Okay. So these three techniques are different. Now in psychtestmastery.com, we are focusing mainly on your psych tests and
Yes.
how to do well in the psych test. If you're interested about the GTO and the interview, you can always get in touch with the people concerned in psychtestmastery.com. They'll guide you.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, so uh, what should I do on the daily basis so that I will be able to write stories with consistency?
Yeah, I've told you that participate actively in your college activities. Okay,
Oh,
suppose you need to organize a conference, take lead. Okay, and get a team together, plan the tasks. Okay, and execute them well. Right. So if you do a few activities like this in your college, automatically you develop these qualities. Okay.
yes.
Secondly, even at your home, try and be a responsible child. Help your parents in their day-to-day activities. Okay. And as a member of the society, whatever you can, you do it. Okay. So that your social qualities will be good. Okay.
Okay,
But as I told you, you need to improve your problem-solving ability as well as your dynamic qualities.
okay, sir. Okay, sir. I got some insight. So, sir, if I want to talk with you uh, on some other day, that for to ask the doubts, so can I contact you?
Sure, sure. You just get in touch with me and make sure I'm free, and then I'll guide you. Okay, we
Okay,
are here to help you out. Okay,
okay,
and
sir.
this is a platform to help the candidates like you who are motivated to join the armed forces, so that we help you to develop your personalities and make you eligible to crack the SSB.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you. It
Right.
was nice to talk to you.
Yeah, pleasure was mine too, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you, sir.